Hello friends, my name is Monica. Today we will discuss about how many types of path variable we can send in a Spring Boot project. Here I will discuss around 8 different type of path variable that we can send um, in a Spring Boot project. Here I will discuss about 8 different type of APIs that we can send the path variable ways, and I have already created that this REST controller and APIs. I will give you a demo. I will call API using Postman and show you the result. Here is the first one, created API. In this API you can see I have given a path variable and I give a name to a path variable, and this is a I declared a variable like int, and return type I have written a hard coded variable, and then I have plus that concat that path variable with this, that you can show the result in Postman. I will hit that API and you can see I have already started that project. I have previously I show you a demo, MySQL code demo, and that project I have created another one class is path variable controller and create a API, and I will call that API with the help of Postman. You can see the results. For example, here is a path API employees, and we have provided that API employee ID, and at the rate path variable name equals to ID, and ID I will hit just jing the, or you can see the result is 12 is here. If I write down here 29, it will return 29. ID equal to 29. We have written here ID plus return the value we have sent, and it is the annotation for path variable. This will, and this is the name. If you did not pass that name, then it will show you error. I will show you, give me a second. I am restarting again that project and I will see you. Give me a second. Project is started. Now I will show you. If you hit now, then it will give 500 internal server error, and you can see here the error. This will show you name of argument int not specified and parameter name information not available via reflection dispatcher. It will show servlet.service for servlet dispatcher and context path through exception. It is showing the name of path variable is not found, so we need to mandatory give the name of a, and I will show you in next API how we can give you the name different type. Like here I have declared the name, and a name equals to ID, and we can direct pass the value. Give me a second. I have created already one, and just copy and paste, and I will show you quick review. You can see I have created another one, get employee by ID with variable name. Here I have created a path variable, and just simple here we pass the name equal to, and with just here I have passed only double quotes and within the name ID, and ID is this, and ID here I have name is employee ID, and API employee with variable name ID, and this will return same as. I am restarting again. I will show you in Postman. Like here I have it written already, you can see it too, and I giving the another name John. Project has been started. Now we will hit via Postman path API. why it is showing me. Now project is running. Not found path API employees path. Okay, employee with variable name. Sorry, this is the path with employee name. If I will change the value 90 and it will return 90 over here. You can see that. Okay, I will give you another example. I just copy and paste and I will show you. Here is the get employee ID by name. I have given here the two path variable, like one is the name and another is ID and name. We will and return that both of that name. I will restart the project and I will show you. Here we have given two path variable. One is ID and another one is name. And I will give you here the one is the ID and second one is the name, and I will hit here. What's going on? Completed employee API employee name and ID and name, and the return ID is 82 and name is John. You will need to like for example, we send first parameter as in ID and second is name. If we interchange here, if I put down here something like I have write down the name, then it will give you the name here because it does not have. So you need to maintain the order where you send the parameter. You need to first is ID and second is the name, otherwise it will change it the mention as a sequence. Okay, another one, I'm just give me a second, we copy to see here in this API I have passed the map as a string, string and path variable. We can pass as a path as a variable. We did not need to mention two different type, like here is ID name and I have declared different type of path variable here. I just created a path variable one as a map and we have get here. If in for example in future we need to send multiple path variable, then we can just here get from here. We did not need to change in API signature. I will show you. Postman, I have already map variable. I written down here and here Johnny. You can see ID and name is returned by the path variable map. You don't need to declare more than one or type. There is, for example, there is 5 path variable, then you need to declare different of path variable everyone. Then you can simply use the path variable as a map and get the value by name parameter and return. If did not found name or ID, it will return missing parameter. For example, I did not pass, that is, then it will pass, sorry, okay, return, that is another one is API required. If you see API with required, this is the required field. path variable and id. If I pass as a employee with required and without id, it will return required. This is the with required 1 I will send, then it will return 1. If I return 18, then it return 18. If for example here I have provided two path get mapping urls. If you see, with required and with required id, if I pass without an id, then it will give you 404 500 internal server, because it is the required one variable, so it will give you an error. For resolve that problem, we have used with required equal to false. I will show you, give me a second. If any parameter we have don't required, like path variable, sometime we will pass and sometime we does not pass, then we can declare as the name as a id and required equal to false. So if we does not pass that value, then API should be call. Employee with required false, you can see id missing. Here I print as a id missing, and if otherwise I will give id, then it will return id. Okay, employee id optional, and I have another one is created as a optional variable, employee with optional, and optional id is, it is a path variable, and I declare name as here, and as a optional id string. I will show you an optional. You can see with optional send API with optional. You can see id missing, it will print id. If I have returned id missing, if id is present it will return id, otherwise it will print id missing. Here I will pass that API id, then it will return the id. And another one example I will show you, that is the like optional with optional default. I have created two employee. One is the default with optional, and another one is default with optional and id. If you give the employee id, then it will, otherwise this will return default employee id. Sorry. You can see over here, I am just pass the default, and this will return the value. I can change and show you, and this is the, otherwise it will return default employee. This will return the default employee. Another one is employee with map. You can see over here I have show you the key map values, path variable and path variable map. And another one is at the red path variable, and I give the two as a default one and as a id. You can get both of the way. If you pass over here the id, you can get id, otherwise you can see, you can send directly in above I have already given the demo. This is the path variable and map string, and you can see I will give you, give me a second. Just put over here. API employee with map and ID, and this will return ID. If we found ID not equal to, then this will return ID, and if I remove ID, then it will return ID is missing. And that is the difference between, if you see in this example, in this, if I pass simple that one and did not pass the path variable, then it will give an 404 not found. But in that API this will not given here, because we have just here passed the variable and two different path variable we have defined. If we simple pass, then it will call and it will return ID missing, otherwise it will give. If you pass the ID, then it will give you error. Thank you everyone, nice to meet you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.